YouTube, it's Brian Phillips. We're gonna open this box right now, and spring is almost here. It keeps tempting us with nice days, but then it keeps snowing. But so we're super excited for this brand new item, the S450. So cool from Spektrum. This is a 4-channel IC2, IC3, and IC5 equipped. 4 independent channels, intelligently uses the power that's available to spread across 4 unique channels. So obviously, as you know, we've got lots of batteries and we've laid out a few of them here, but we're gonna unbox this thing first and give you guys a quick look at what it does. I mean, it is a charger and I'm pretty sure you can figure out what it does, but we'll show you how to use it. Here on Brian Phillips RC, we wanna help support the RC addiction, hobby. And one of the ways we do that is by showing brand new products from Spektrum and other brands, okay? So as you can see, you've got the smart plugs and then a balance lead, and they're on all 4, the 3 front sides. So let's pop this thing out. Okay, first things first, there is, it comes with a USB-C to C cable, looks like a nice one. And then it comes with a power cord. Of course, we're gonna have to undo this, get the memory off of it. And it says something about warnings, risk of fire. Obviously, I'm just gonna go ahead and throw that right in the file cabinet. But as you can see, this comes, at least in North America, it comes like this, where we've got a regular AC plug, grounded plug, and then the weird triangular plug. So it's not the other kind that would be like on a computer tower. Sometimes they're like this, but, okay. And then it comes with what looks like a screen protector. Peel off this mask after application. Please peel this off before application. So it comes with a protective cover. I don't know if I'm gonna deal with that because, to be honest, if there's one area we've had trouble with on these chargers, it's been the screens breaking out. This feels like it's gonna be more robust than the others. Okay, so there's a protective film. We'll leave that on there for now. 2 cooling fans. And then, whoa, you have an input from an XT5, or excuse me, not an XT5, but an EC5. And it looks like we have 2 slide downs, okay? And then the 2 through 6S connection, more cooling inlets or outlets, and then USB-C update and a 20-watt output.
Nice.
20-watt output's a lot, guys, so I'm excited about that for a USB. Okay, so we're gonna put this back in there. There is a manual in the box as well. So it looks like it's got all sorts of boring stuff, so you can read that if you're looking to take a nap, okay? So I'm gonna stuff that in there. Here on Brian Phillips RC, we like to show the entire process of getting a product ready to use, and that includes when we have stuff like smart chargers, okay? Now keep in mind, this charger will work for non-smart items as well. And it does seem like a pretty nice USB-C cable, USB-C to USB-C. So we've got that to go with our 4,000 other USB cables, okay? We're gonna plug this in right now, and we've got a variety of smart batteries lined up, and then we have some non-smart batteries, because as you may not be aware, the smart chargers will charge all brands of batteries. It doesn't really care. But if you are of the mindset that you want to charge off of AC, then of course you can plug it in. Okay, very nice. So it turns on. Is there a power plug? There is not a power switch. That's a bummer for me. I don't like having to unplug these things. Okay, so that's kind of annoying. I guess we'll have to see if we're gonna leave this one plugged in. It is quite a bit bigger than the next size down that we use on a routine, which is the S2200. So that's 200 watts on 2 ports. Of course, the S155 is our second go-to, and then the S1 to the 1200, which is 1 channel, 200 watts. And then up over the top, you can see this is the old S2100. And then over here, we have the S1500 and the S1200 that are plugged into power supplies. They're kind of buried right now. We rarely use them, but when we're charging a bunch of stuff, we use a lot of chargers. So camera crew's gonna come back over here for a minute. Okay, so obviously this cable will eventually relax and make this easy. This is the most ridiculous battery we've ever had, I think, from Spektrum. And it was an accident. We have no use for it. Actually, this is an unusual size for us and we've never used it.
Yeah.
But I figured it would be a good time to test the charger. We have charged it once because we had a car we did, the Super Nut.
We thought it was
gonna fit. It didn't fit. So we were super dejected because it came by mistake. And so I'm just gonna slide that down. I'm gonna plug this thing in. This is gonna be a load test. So it's at 22.2 volts. Of course, it's gonna smart charge at some point. And you can see how it says channel 1, channel 2, channel 3, and channel 4. Very good. Ooh, look, buttons back. Scroll down, scroll up, and enter. That's a big screen, by the way, too. Very easy to see. So I'm gonna go to channel select. Camera crew's gonna need to move her body so that I can actually be in front of it too. Okay, so we'll go right here. We'll try to get you guys a really good view. Okay, all right, so we've got back. That stops it. Start. And then we can go up. And there's an audible feedback when there's no more to go to. That's kind of nice. So smart battery settings. There's our auto discharge. It's gonna automatically charge at 10. Let's go enter to that and go all the way to the top. Now remember, this is, holy crap, you can charge that one at 34 amps.
Yeah.
Okay, now this will obviously not support 34 amps, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna walk back and I'm gonna just go to start and see how high it can go, okay? So now, this is a smart battery that is basher pack. So it's really a hard celled pack. So it's really strong. It's 150.96 watt hours. And it's charges at 5C. So 5 times this value. So take 6.8 times 5 gives you your 34, okay? And they also say it on here too. It says 34 amps right there. Okay, so that's one thing that's nice about Spektrum batteries is they actually label all that stuff so that you can not have to do a lot of guesswork. So now I'm not sure how this is gonna work. This is another battery that we use on a really routine basis, 5050C. It's kind of the middle of the road, but it's a 6S. We use these batteries all the time when we're flying big airplanes, like the airliner, okay? So we're just gonna slide down on channel 2. This must be channel 2, and just go ahead and plug that in. Now this one's probably set to charge at like the maximum speed. So you're gonna see that it's orange because it populates that channel. We have different audio events. You can hear the beep is a different beep. Okay, so that's kind of nice. I love that the screen's big.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like it'd be that big a deal, but it kind of is. Now, I don't think this is the touch screen. So because it's not a touch screen, I'm probably not gonna put the screen protector on. I don't care about the screen protector. I just don't want the screen to fall back. Now, this is a different style of screen on the S2200 and the S1200, okay, than what we have on the S155, which has not fallen back. And so I think this one will resolve that conflict. Now, full disclosure, on that S2200, the whole glass part has popped out once and I fixed it. I flipped it over and reattached it and then it broke out again. So I love this charger still. I would still get it again because I love it. It's fast, it does everything right. I've never had a problem with it except for that display. Again, it's not a touchscreen, you don't have to touch it. We just try to keep things clean, and if we didn't care, then I would never mess with it.
Right.
Okay, so now let's go ahead and get in here and let's change back to the channel. How do we change channels? Channel select, channel select, channel select. Okay, so this is charging currently at 4.2 amps. Okay, so that must be about the limit when you've got 2 of these going at the same time, because this one, let's see if we can enter smart settings. Okay, so I pressed and held play this time instead of hitting back to stop it. And you can see that it is currently set to charge at 6 amps, so it must not be capable of doing a full 6 amp load. Okay, so now let's hit channel select. Doesn't do anything when you're in this menu. I'll hit back. That brings us back to the live screen, and I'm gonna hit channel select, go to channel 3. Now, you don't have to have the channel selected, but let's go ahead and throw in a small battery. So now this one has an IC2 on it, but this is one of the first smart batteries. I believe, is this one a smart battery? I don't remember if this one is truly smart. Oh no, this one is not truly smart. This is the first smart battery, and you can tell because they've got this sort of like nobule on the end here, and that's the smart circuit with the 850 on a 3S. This is a 4S 450. And you can see it would be a little bit longer if it had the smart circuit. If you guys don't know what that smart circuit looks like, we have actually sacrificially crashed a plane, intentionally crashed it, so we could kill the battery, so we could take out the smart circuit. So this little smart circuit is the battery management chip that actually monitors this on a 3S pack. So you can see the 3 black and the 1 orange. And that is what's inside. They're a little bit bigger on the larger batteries. But if you ever happen to touch a smart battery right here and it's warm to the touch, it's because it's discharging and dissipating heat. Okay, so I'm gonna take this one. This is a smart battery. It should come on when I plug it in. And so, yep, it immediately populates the screen with the 11.5 volts, which is the storage level charge, I'm sure. And it's gonna automatically start charging here after a minute. I have noticed it takes a second for that to happen. It's not really a big deal for me, but I am curious if this one's gonna auto charge. Yeah, it did. I'm initiating smart charge. And so it's gonna go and start charging for us. You can see it's gonna pull up. This should charge at the max rate because it's an 850 milliamp hour. Let's go and press play. Press and hold play. And yeah, so it's set to charge at 1. But you can look right here. It's allowed to charge as fast as 4.25. Good Lord. Jeez. That's really fast on an 850, okay? So, and then it just automatically popped out of the menu. So now let's take a non-smart battery. This is a Spektrum battery, but it's non-smart because it doesn't have the smart chip. So we'll go ahead and, obviously we have all 3 plugs here with the same style covers to keep dust and debris out. So we'll plug that in, and then it's gonna force us to plug in the balance lead. And so the negative is over here. So we'll just plug that in. One complaint I have about the Spektrum Black is it's really hard to see where the negative lead goes. And so I'll grab this one as an example because it's easy for us to camera this. Okay, see how it says negative right there? That is silk screened on the opposite side. See how the arrow points down? Mm-hmm. That arrow should actually be pointing up. So like in this condition, the arrow points down, but look where it's lined up. They silk screened it and it points to like the 3rd pin in because I think it's a 2 through 4S on this, and this is a 2 through 6S. Mm-hmm. So you can have up to 7 pins. This one has up to 4 pins because it's an S450. It's a smaller charger and considerably smaller screen, but this does have the more robust mount style. This one also has a plug for a different style, non-grounded plug. Okay, so you just have the hot and the neutral instead of the hot, the neutral, and the ground like we do on this one. Okay, so as you can see on channel 4, it's not gonna automatically start. So I have to select that channel. Let's go back a little bit. We're gonna select the channel, and you can see you've got the live readings of the values. This one's like pretty much charged. Okay, so it's set to 0 amps right now. Or no, that's what's actually going out. And if I were to start this, I don't know what the current would be. It's never been set. This is a brand new version system. So I'm gonna click, and then yeah, so I'm gonna scroll in. This happens to be a 450 milliamp hour, also known as 0.45 amps. So in this case, I could charge it at 1C and do either 5 or whatever. That's good enough. We can go to start. And then I need to indicate that it is a LiPo, confirm charge, lithium polymer, yes. I do like the confirmation screen. Obviously it's gonna start charging, and you'll see it's balancing all the while. It shows a 97% charge rate, and it's done. Okay, so pretty cool. So now, if you guys didn't already know how these chargers tell that a cell is done charging, it is looking for the rate of milliamp hours out, so the current rate out, and the change in receiving the power, okay? So as that change slows to a point where it believes it's full, then it stops, okay? So it's not looking for 4.2 per cell, even though that's what we charge both lithium polymers to. It is going to just go based on the speed of discharge or speed of charge. So now this one's done. You'll notice that the cooling fan's kicked on. That's a common scenario. So I'm gonna go ahead and press this and stop it. And then I'm gonna unplug it and I'm gonna undo it. And you'll notice that it stops the Facebook data center noise, okay? That's our running joke about how much noise these cooling fans can make. So as you can see, this one slowed down a little bit. This one's slowed down a little bit because we're still well within range. You're still getting some throughput on the charge. And you can see that this one is also getting some throughput. Now keep in mind, this is a 4-port charger, but it's supposed to allocate the system resources if it's not being used on another port. So I'm not sure what the limit actually ends up being, but like this one's charged. Now let's show you one that you're still gonna have to use an adapter on, okay? So this has a JST and a Hextronics plug. So in this case, you would need to use one of your adapters. In this case, we're gonna be grabbing this one. So it'll go to the middle plug. And keep in mind, the idea, of course, with this charger is to not have to have a bunch of adapters, but let's be honest, there are gonna still be some outliers. So there's your JST plug, and then your balance lead is going to plug in. Just remember, it's always to, like if you're reading, it's always to the left side of the page. So let's hit channel select over to channel 4, press play. Let's change the setting from 0 to, this one's a how big? This one's a 300, so we'll go to 300 milliamp hours, or 3 amps, 0.3 amps rather. Okay, we'll select that, we'll scroll down. It's already selected as LiPo because it's done one cycle, and we'll press play. We'll confirm and hit yes. Okay. Now, there's also menu settings. So if I were to select the menu, press and hold play. And then there is going to be a menu for the whole setup as well. Let's head back. Oh, play is your accept button. Because there's alarm features and things like that. So if I were to go into the menu, I think I might need to stop this. So what I'll do is I'll change the channel to channel 3. Looks like this one's still charging at 1 amp. So let's pause this. I'm gonna stop it. Then I'm gonna press menu again, press and hold play, and then you can go into the different settings, system settings. Backlight's on high, volume is on high, completion tone is repeat. Yeah, I don't want repeat, I want single. It's super annoying otherwise. Okay, the language English, and then the auto charge is on, self-test, interesting. Calibrate channel 1, channel 2, channel 3, okay. And we'll just walk back out of there. And then I'm just, because I'm lazy, I'm gonna unplug this, and I'm just gonna plug it back in and see if it starts. You see how it beeped? Gave me an acknowledgement beep, and then it's gonna start charging. Okay. Because we're on a different screen at this point, it's also populated with Smart Charge, and I'm curious if it's going to start charging automatically because we did select auto charge just now. So we'll see. I'm gonna change the channel and just look at what's going on over here. It's still charging, very good. We can also press down and you can see the balance of the pack, and you can also see the internal resistance. This one's kind of crappy, but that's not uncommon on those ones. Okay. You can also hit channel, and you can change between channels and make comparisons, okay, on those different screens. So like if you had 2 packs that you were gonna use in a balance discharge, or not a balance discharge, but like a parallel, this of course would be a series adapter, a parallel use, you'd want them to have considerably similar characteristics. So you could actually have those both plugged in to the same charger, and you could evaluate the internal resistances, and you could really get 2 that match up nicely. And then you could pair up those pairs, say A and B or something like that. But it is nice when you get into the series, it's a little bit less critical because it's passing through the entire package of the battery, if you will. And then if you're like this with parallel, you want to kind of discharge them in an even way. So that's what we do on this channel. We take people from start to finish, from the box into the air. Let's take a high volt pack and see how they do. This is a high volt pack from a competitive brand. This just happens to be a bigger one with the same style of plug, so we'll actually leave that to the side, okay? And since we're not gonna be flying this one right away, I'm gonna go to channel 2. Looks like we're at 74%. I can press play and I can stop it. Okay, so now it says 0 amps, so I should be able to unplug. Now you can unplug while it's charging, but it's just gonna pause that charging cycle. Okay, so now no batteries detected. This is a high voltage lithium polymer pack, so it's just a different style. This also has an auto spark arrestor. built in. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab this adapter with an EC5 or an IC5 down to an XT90. So we'll plug this in. That might undermine the spark arrestor, by the way. So I'll go ahead and plug this one in. Okay, so it comes up with the nominal voltage 25.9. And then I'm gonna come down here and plug this in. Now keep in mind, that is pretty low. Let's look at our other one. See how this is right here in line with the battery plug? This heat sink blower opening is down here versus being up here with the balance lead down here. See that? Mm-hmm. So that's a little bit of a difference because a lot of times the packs, I don't lay them like this to keep the pressure off of the connections. I like to lay them so that they're like this. But that is something that makes it a little bit awkward, is to reach all the way down to this plug. There's gonna be some batteries where it's difficult. So you have to figure out how it lines up. And then I'm gonna plug this in. Okay, so once that's plugged in, we should be good to go to start charging. Am I doing something wrong here? Oh, goodness gracious, is that a different? No, it's not. What am I doing wrong here, hon?
I don't know, I can't see.
I'm gonna unplug this just because I'm having trouble reaching it in there. See these two tabs? They should go down on a Hextronics balance lead plug, but it's just like I can't get it to line up. So I'm gonna try with this one. Now, without stopping it, I'll unplug it. I wanna see if I'm doing something wrong. Or is this like, it's not keyed different. Okay, so I'm gonna get a Spektrum one this time. So it's just a 4S. So we'll just try plugging it in. I'm just wondering if it's, no, it went in just perfect.
Okay.
So, do we have a difference in this? Okay, so let's get that China Hobby Lines one back. Let's try sticking that in. Oh, yep, that ain't gonna work because that's an 8S.
Right,
okay, so we'll put the 8S over here. We'll grab another competitive brand. This one is not a high volt pack. I don't think they have a difference in balance leads. Well, that went in perfect. Is there a difference in Hextronics plugs? If there is, I am just learning it. Those look pretty much the same to me. Definitely. Did I do something wrong? What am I doing wrong?
I don't know.
This is so bizarre, guys. I've never actually had this problem before. I know I've charged this battery before.
Yeah, we've used it.
And I've charged it right here. See? Yeah, goes right in. No problem. What am I doing wrong? Am I like extra dumb today? I'm definitely lined up right. It does not like receiving that plug.
That is weird.
Okay, so I want to look at one other detail. Is there a dimensional difference in where those pins come out? I think the answer is no, but then watch this, guys. Same humanoid, plugging into the same board. What the heck am I doing wrong? This is so weird. It's like it's resisting. Do you see what I'm doing wrong? Am I doing something
I can't tell.
different?
It doesn't look any different to me at all. What you're doing.
I feel like I'm doing
different.
the exact same process. And it's like the battery charger is protecting itself from like doing something wrong. You can see the detent there. You can see the detent here. They are definitely the same.
They have the same pin structure on the top.
Yeah.
Right?
So what the heck am I doing wrong?
It's like it's not exactly the right size. Like, see how much you can wiggle it left to right?
Yeah, but you can do that with all of them. Because that is the exact Hextronics lead. That's why I don't understand it. See, look. There's play on that too.
Yeah, there is.
And then once it goes right in. Okay, well, we'll come back to that. So we're gonna try charging this. Guys, I know it's burning in your memory bank, that little issue I just had, but we're gonna plug this in and see if it starts. Okay, so now this is a 6S Turnigy 4000, okay? So now you hear the fan come on? Mm-hmm. That's because it's trying to balance this pack, okay? So I'm gonna go up to the speed. Looks like you have to set it each time. That's a little annoying. Let's set it to, we'll go down to 4 amps. So it's just a 1C charge rate and hit start. And we'll confirm that it's a LiPo. Yes. Okay, so it started charging. It's not gonna go long because we're at 97% charge, but it's trying to balance feverishly because you see it's out of balance over here. And you'll find that a lot with the Hextronics stuff. Or not so much Hextronics, but the Turnigy packs compared to the Spektrum packs. A lot of times you'll have a little bit more imbalance. And by the way, there is some heat coming off somewhere.
Is there?
Yeah, where is it? Where's the heat coming from? I felt like I felt warm air coming out. Maybe it was just when it was blowing the air
the fan
and
was
it
on.
stopped. But very good. So it looks like it's working here. Of course, we can see the internal resistance on these ones as well. And it's in the megohms, which is good, I guess. All right, so does the charger do its job? The answer is so far, the only one I can't get to go is this. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, so I'm gonna try it. I am gonna get this. I am gonna be victorious over this charge sequence here. I just don't understand why it's not wanting to line up. If there's some pin differential, like there's a different pitch on these. If there is, I'm learning it today on camera for you on YouTube. And that's what we do on Brian Phillips RCs. We learn about the hobby together. And I really don't understand, because look, watch this, guys. Watch this. Look, port 2, we already did port 1 earlier. Straight in, no problem.
That's bizarre.
Bizarre. So I wonder if it's a deeper pin structure or something. Like you have to reach a little deeper. Because I know at some point I'm going to get this thing in here, because I will be victorious. Oh, there it goes. Got it in.
That was weird.
That was so bizarre, folks. I genuinely do not know what the heck I was doing wrong, if I was even doing anything wrong. Okay, so now let's look at what the charger says about channel 3. We're on channel 3. We can see that we're at 4.3 volts, okay? So this one's probably close to charged as well. I press down arrow. It doesn't look like it's gonna give me any more data on that until I plug in the main discharge lead. Now, the only problem with that is I have to go back over to channel 2. Oh, it looks like that one's maybe done. Nope, it's at 97%. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop this by pressing play. Oh, it's not even started. So I'll just unplug it. And then we're gonna use this. Remember the spark arrestor's on there. And I'll slide both of those down. It's kind of hard to do them both at the same time, folks. So we'll go ahead and plug that in. Lay that out of the way, go back to channel 3. And then I'm gonna go ahead and press play. It's gonna force me to set this up. So I wanna charge this at, I don't know. This is a 4.5. So let's do 4,500 milliamps. So let's go into here and scroll into, let's just do 4.5, okay, amps. And then this is not a LiPo, it's a lithium high volt, okay? So you change that. Ah, look, it lost my setting because we changed to a different battery type.
Okay, so we have to do that first.
Okay, so 4.5, and then we'll go to start. And we're gonna confirm that it's a lithium high volt 6S, yes. Okay, now, I bet that all that Facebook data center noise from all the cooling fans is because this one is attempting to balance. Nope, I bet it's channel 4.
But that little tiny one's done.
Yep, and it's trying to balance that sucker. And it did bring it pretty well to balance. So I'm gonna go ahead and terminate this charge. I'll just unplug this here and then unplug this here. So we have now a charged battery and we've got other charged batteries. Now, there's one other type of battery that's difficult to charge for a lot of people. And so we're gonna go ahead and demonstrate this one right now as well. This is a micro pH 2S, and it's got this different connector. So this is a 2S compared to that's a 4S. This here is a 3S, and you can see that they have different pin orientation and layout, and it's a different type of connector. Get in there real close. You guys see the difference in the connectors? This has a vertical line in the center. This has 2 on the outside. Now, if this was a 2S, here, I'll find a 2S that has the JST. Now you're comparing apples to apples on a 2S connector that's Hextronics versus a 2S micro pH connector, okay? This is gonna be in parallel with this balance lead. The discharge lead is in parallel to the balance lead's outermost connections. This one doesn't have a balance lead. So when you plug it into a charger like this, you have to have an adapter even still, okay? So that adapter looks like this. You plug this in to your IC3 plug. See how there's IC5, IC3, and then IC2. So just line that up, plug it in. And then this is gonna receive your battery plug right after you get your balance lead into the leftmost plugs, okay? Then this plugs in and it's keyed, so it can only go in one way. And then guess what? Now on channel 4, you've populated the screen with the voltage. Press play. This is a lithium polymer. And we'll set this up to charge at what speed? 300 milliamps. So 0.3 amps. So start, and then start. We're going to confirm that it's a lithium polymer, and you can hit yes. That's going to start charging, and after a moment of time, it's going to show you your internal resistance, because it does take a second to calculate that based on a power function. Power, of course, is a function of time. So because it's a function of power, and it takes time to, that's really fast, by the way. It takes this charger longer to determine the internal resistance. I don't know why. Okay, so without further ado, that is the quick overview of this charger and what it can do and what it's all about. Now, keep in mind, this is only 50 watts on each of the 4 ports, okay? So if you're expecting to put your 6800 Basher batteries on here, 4 of them, it is not gonna charge at 34 amps on four ports. It's not gonna do it on 1 port, okay? But it will max itself out at what it believes to be a safe level. And one of the best things about this, now let's go over to channel 3 again, where we were doing our high volt pack. So it's complete that. It put a whopping 12 milliamp hours into that pack because it was already charged, and you can see it's keeping it at 3.34 volts. So that must be the full charge. So at the end of the day, is this charger the charger that ends all your charger needs? And the answer to that question would be probably not. Because especially if you guys are doing fast charging, I'm just gonna give you an example. Let's unplug this on channel 1. Let's see where we are. Channel 1 is at 85%. And if we go up, you can see it's charging at 2.7 amps. Let's just stop that. I wanna give you guys an example. Here's a couple things to consider. We talk pros and cons here, because even though we love the Spektrum stuff and we love working with Horizon, they don't always get everything exactly right for everybody's needs. You have to weigh that out yourself, because we are all about showing what they really do, not what they wanted you to want, okay? The first feature that I already did, look, go up higher. This is my favorite feature on this, a power switch. It sounds stupid, but in my application, because we have a bunch of chargers back here, I can come up and do that, and it turns it on. Okay, now that may not be incredibly important in your world, and you might be using batteries to charge other batteries with yours. So you may not even use this AC cable. But for me, the power toggle switch is a big deal. Also, having the fold up cover is very important to me. But you know what's even more important to me is having 200 watts. Watch how fast this sucker goes. Okay, if this is set to 34 amps, this thing will start going like blazing fast. Look at this. We're already up. Look how fast the milliamp hours come in. So it stopped itself at 10. Watch this. No soup for you. Sorry, 20 amps, okay? Now watch this. If you stop this, stop it, press play, and then you scroll down to smart battery settings, it's already set to 20 here, okay? I'm gonna scroll into 34. Okay, you see how I did that? But look, it's set to 34, but it says 20 there because this charger won't support any faster. Okay, so now I'm gonna press play, and I'm gonna scroll down to start and press play again. That thing's gonna take off like a rocket ship and start going like crazy. So when you look outside and the windsock doesn't look like that, and you're like, I'm gonna be flying a plane right now, and you say, I wanna get this battery charging so that I can get out there as quick as possible, then I want these things to charge as fast as I'm allowed to charge them, okay? Now the other thing too is you'll notice that whenever you use this balance lead thing for these little micro pH 1S, or excuse me, 2S packs, they will be incredibly obnoxious, okay? Like lots of cooling fan action. So let's scroll back over. So this one's done. It's probably balancing this, so I'm gonna go ahead and unplug it. I'm gonna unplug it, and I'm gonna unplug it, okay? So this one's done. It's charged and ready to rock and roll. And listen to how loud that thing is.
Yeah.
It is loud. Now, is that good for the preservation of the electronics in the circuit? Maybe. Is it annoying? Yes. Okay, so now if you've got this one going and you got another one going and another one going, it's gonna get loud in this room because it is loud in here. This is a huge room and you can definitely hear it a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, so that being said, very big pro on this machine, 4 channels, independent, you can charge them. Very big con 50 watts only, okay? You have 55 watts on this thing, okay? So guys, when you are brand new to the hobby and we're giving you advice, we're gonna try to talk you into something like this, or if you know you're in the hobby, you're returning, you're here to stay for a little bit, we're gonna try to talk you into this. This is more money, considerably more money than this. But this is considerably better than the S120 that you're gonna get in a ready to fly.
Yeah.
You're gonna sit there and wait for hours for batteries to charge, okay? But you can't charge smart batteries with an S120, okay? Which is just those little USB powered thing.
Yeah.
Now, there is a huge advantage here compared to here, because I believe the USB-C and USB-A on this thing, I don't even know if they charge. But I don't find myself charging anything ever. Not the least of which is one time, before we put a backup battery in that's 900 pounds in our house to back up the whole house, we charged a cell phone during a power outage.
We did.
Because we use an external battery. So now let's demonstrate this using a battery to charge, okay? This is very annoying listening to that cooling fan. That cooling fan array is loud. So let's unplug this, let's unplug that, and let's unplug this. Now we have a battery charged. You'll notice we still need a lot of adapters, but we need less adapters. So their big claim to fame is that you're not gonna need adapters. My claim to fame is, no, you still need adapters. Let's see how long it takes to shut off after we unplug it. And it's pretty quick. Okay, so we can get this out of the way. And should we use the behemoth pack that we were using over here that we just got done? Okay. Hey, it's something we can use it for.
Anything else.
Okay, so this is charged. Look how fast it's going. It's slowed down. One of my biggest annoyances on these smart chargers is the last few percentage, it'll slow down. And I know why they do that, because they want to detect change more precisely. But when I'm ready to charge, I want to charge, okay? So no soup for you, you're done. And you're put away and ready to store. That's a feature I like. Now, the other thing too is that this has an input of a smart lead, okay? I'm not sure what that's gonna do for us, but let's try it. It's like, thank you, Brian, for giving me power. Now, see how fast you can charge a 6S. This is not the one we started earlier. The one we started earlier is sitting here. So it's the one that's got the new marking on it. So we already have, let's just go to this one so it's easy. Plug it in. So channel 2, and let's see what happens. This should charge pretty quick. Now, the other thing is what I'm gonna do after this, I'm gonna take a smaller battery and I'm gonna try to charge a bigger battery and show you what happens or doesn't happen. I don't know what's gonna happen, but we're gonna find out. So let's see how fast this goes. Look at that, 4.2. Seems to be 4.2. Okay, so now we know that this is a 6S and we know that this is a 6S, so you haven't really proven anything too exciting, Brian. Not until we stick in a second 6S. Let's see what happens. Okay, is it gonna blow up and catch on fire? Remember guys, this is like the perpetual motion cycle. We've got one battery charging two batteries that are bigger, okay? Is it gonna work? Is it gonna work? I don't know, let's change the channel. Yeah, it just started, dang it, I'm sorry. There it goes. Ooh, so it is going to work. And just so you know, no movie magic. We don't know how to do that. What? You're welcome. That's why we have one camera crew.
Yes.
Okay, so it's charging at 4 amps, so it slowed down a little bit. This one's at 4.2. Okay, so let's throw caution in the wind. I did not get very deep penetration there, hon. You should have warned me about that.
Sorry.
Okay, so at the top, let's plug this in. I do think it's a little strange they chose to put the big, huge one at the top and not the bottom. I figure the small one would be at the top. Okay, so now channel 3 should be starting soon. This, of course, being another 6S 3200 smart pack. Oh, so it's decided not to reject my offer to charge this battery as well. So now this battery is going to come in kind of handy then, all of a sudden. Because now we could take this basher pack and we could charge 3 other batteries right now that are 6S as well at the same time, which is pretty cool. Okay, so obviously we're running. Okay, we're running. We're running. And we're running. Okay, so now let's charge. I feel like we need to do another 6S. Do you want to do a non-smart battery on this just to see what happens?
Well, but that one's charged.
Oh, you're right. This one is charged.
Something different.
This one's already charged as well.
Yep. To grab another one.
What about a 7000 that's probably been sitting here for a long, long
Probably.
time. Okay. This is a Gen 1, so we have a balance lead on it. We'll see how this goes. Let's stick it in the hole. If it catches on fire, we'll know. So it obviously populated a screen with the voltage. Doesn't mean much. Okay. Insert balance lead. No soup for you. Let's see if it'll start without. Start. No balance lead detected. It doesn't give us a chance to go past it.
Oh, just skip that.
So I'm gonna go ahead and roll this over on its backside here and stick it in the hole. Wow. Your battery, get out of the way. This is like a crazy amount of batteries.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so same thing here as before, just trying to line it up, and it did go in okay. I didn't have any problems getting it in the hole. Thank you.
Fall off.
Okay, so let's see if this one starts. This one's been sitting here forever, by the way. So yep, look at that. It's still doing pretty good. Let's check the balance. Booyah! Look at that. That's why we like smart batteries, 3.8. And that thing's been sitting for probably over, well, a year and a half, maybe 2 years. We don't use a lot of 7,000s.
No.
So what is the moral of the story? If you want to have an orgy of batteries, you know where to find it. It's right here with this setup. And you'll notice that we don't have to listen to the obnoxious cooling fans.
Because we're not charging tiny batteries.
And they're not done.
Yes.
When they're done, it gets worse because it switches over to a balance mode. So this battery charger is actually faster per channel than this battery charger.
But it's only one, and it's only 4S, up to 4S.
That's true. That is a very good point. Very good point. Now, just because I am a glutton for punishment, I want to see if this 4S, do we have a 4S in here with a big IC, with the IC5?
We have two S's. I mean,
no, we have an IC5. We have an IC5.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa, we do have a 2S. That would be really pushing the envelope.
2 and 3 S's with the 5s.
Okay, so this is 3. I don't even know if this is charged though. But yes, we have a 4. Okay, so this is gonna be like one really extreme test. Okay, let's see if we can catch it on fire. Watch what happens. I wanna try to do this really fast and see what happens, okay? So I want this lined up. I wanna see if I can keep it on. Oh no, it immediately died. It's probably gonna be like, no soup for you, Brian. look at that monster. There's so many batteries plugged in. So that's 2S, okay?
So that doesn't even power it up.
So it doesn't even turn it on, but I wonder if it's because we have all the rest of the batteries. So we're gonna unplug all these, okay? And just see what happens. Because I would be honestly thrilled if I could take 2S and charge one 6S. That'd be crazy. I don't think it's gonna work, okay? Okay, so it obviously is outside of the operating range, okay? So we'll unplug that. Let's look at the back here. Does it say input? Ah, it does tell us. Input, 100 through 240 at 2.5 amps minimum, or 10 through 30 volts. Oh, so 10 through 30 volts at 25 amps, okay? So 10 through 30 volts, so this is only 7.4 volts. So we need a 3S, okay? So this 3S is a 100C, which is, you know, I mean, we're not trying to cheat here. I just want to see if this will run it.
Right.
This should turn it on.
Those should be charged too.
So we have one battery, a 3S. All right, let's just see. Let's just see if this works. I don't know if this is going to work. There's no way. There ain't no way. I think it's thinking about it. It's thinking about it. That is so cool. I've had a battery mismatch before when I'm trying to use smart chargers. Wow.
I mean,
so go up like a long ways.
I guess it depends on how dead that one is and how full your other one is, right?
Maybe. I don't know. Let's see how much juice we can steal out of this 3S. Oh, this is awesome. If we could charge 4 6S's on one 3S, that is nuts. I mean, obviously you're not going to be able to pull these fully to full charge, but it's still kind of interesting to see. It sucks to plug in that balance lead down there, guys.
And that's a shorty.
That is a shorty, yeah. Okay, so let's see how this works. This is ridiculous. This could be the thumbnail, so we got to be kind of careful how we do this. That is crazy. To have one 3S battery charging this whole chunk of battery.
Did they all start? One's going. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That is crazy. Okay, so let's see. Is this getting like hot? It's gonna be hard to tell on a soft
Yeah,
pack.
because of hard pack.
Now, the other thing you could do, folks, is if you're really so inclined, you could parallel charge, because you know what'd be cool about parallel charging? You could switch out batteries. Wow. In the middle of a charging sequence. Not that it really matters if you power down, but like you could plug this thing in. Ooh, except there's no smart lead. I wonder if the smart lead needs to be plugged in. Let's test that theory right now. Okay, unplug it, it's gonna shut off. Now we're gonna put this thing in. Now listen, this is Spektrum disclaimer. They didn't tell us to do this. You probably shouldn't. I'm gonna do it for you. That's crazy. So now is it gonna not know what the battery is and therefore not start? Let's find out. Now, be careful because this is 3S. We gotta make sure that it's at least another 3S that we put in here, okay? So if you walked up to this thing and you put a 3S with a 6S, then what's gonna happen is this is parallel, so technically you would feed back here and catch this on fire, okay? So it's gotta be another 3S if you're gonna put another 3S in configuration here.
We should have another one of those.
I know, that's what I was gonna get right now. Booyah, look at that, 3S. Okay, let's see what happens.
And by the way, those just all went back to smart charging. You didn't have to do anything.
Nope. Oh, it flickered. You know why? This thing has a battery management circuit in it, and this thing has a battery management circuit in it, okay? Camera crew.
Yeah.
So that means that you technically don't really have to do much of anything because these will self-balance. But the only thing is, you don't want to be like at 4% and then plug this in at like 98% because you're going to basically try to pull this up. You're going to charge this from this as well as charging these. But the cool thing is,
You're still using it all.
say this battery gets low. Problem is, you're not going to know it's low.
Right.
Because how would you know which one's low?
Yeah,
there is no
you will.
feedback. So there is no input voltage that I can see. So let's see if I press menu, okay? You'd have to stop it to get the full data, right? Let's hit back. Nope, you can't do it. It's changed channels. Let's go to one that's a Gen 1 and see if it changes the menu structure. Nope. So I'm gonna scroll down to, I'm gonna scroll to stop, okay? Then I'm gonna go into the menu with this. Let's see if there's anything for the input. You can charge or discharge. Okay. Now that's just for the battery though. System settings. You could turn your backlight down too. Auto charge is definitely on. Self-test, don't want to mess with that.
There was a charger history too if you would walk back out, but that's not going to tell you.
That's not going to do anything I want. What I want to do is I just want to see what other tasks. Okay, so yeah, so you could, so this is where it'd be really nice, guys. I will be honest with you, because these are smart batteries, you don't need to do anything with them. But if you had a bunch of dumb packs and you wanted to put them to storage, this would be an easy way to do it. Now, we talked about these a few weeks back, and these are basically, they're gonna give you a longer reach on your cables. So camera crew, hold this with one hand. So what you could do is you could use these to set up a quick discharge array. If you have a lot of batteries that you take to the field, you don't want to mess with battery management at the field. You have spent and unspent. You get home, you realize you got quite a few that are unspent. You don't want to depend on the battery management circuit of your smart charger. You could use this to do a bunch of them at once because obviously it's got a lot of cooling fans.
Right.
So these things might come in handy. We'll link to these. In fact, this is all going to be part of our smart stuff playlist, right? And then we also have playlists that show how these work. These are just extension cords. So if you guys are building, you know, some sort of a, I like to call them bomb cases, but it's basically when you have a charger that is inside of another box.
Yeah.
Only issue is these sides are going to be blocked a lot. Okay.
But if you had the extension cables, you could bring them out to the front of your box.
And that's where it'd be nice. So like if you sunk this down into to your case and you had 3 or 4 of these together, that'd be pretty sweet. But I'm gonna come back to, I want the wattage for faster charging. So the biggest drawback on this is the wattage. The second biggest drawback is no power switch for me. You guys probably don't care, but I would say that that is where the drawbacks end. The big advantage is this screen type. So I'm hoping that this is the new screen type they're gonna put on the new S2200 or whatever it is. And I'm not saying that they're coming out with one. I'm just pontificating on what I think is going to eventually happen.
Updating.
Is they're going to eventually update this.
Yeah.
I do like this cabinet design a little bit better because there's a seam down here instead of up here at the top. So that makes it nice and neat. Looks like the seam is down on the bottom on this as well. So really it's just that screen that likes to break out.
Yeah. And this one has like all of the buttons are together on this like neoprene thing with no labels. And these are all labeled.
They're
their own individual buttons.
The other thing too that I notice about this that's a huge improvement over the original, I'm just gonna pull this one out so that you guys can see what I'm talking about, is they used to have these scrolly wheels.
Oh, that's right.
Here, I'll wipe the junk off of it. You'd have to do this and then press. It was like this, you would just slide your finger on it and then press the button in the center. And so you have a momentary push button and then you have this like feedback and you have to scroll. It's a real pain in the neck. I did not ever like that part of the feature set. It worked, but it was obnoxious. And then if you go to this older style, again, I'll wipe off the screen so you can see good. This thing had the same, but they do have a designated button for channel 1, channel 2. You can just tell the heft. It's so much heavier. Mm-hmm. By the way, when I had to open this to fix the screen, we never filmed that. I probably should have. It wasn't a big deal to open up, but man, it is full in there. There's so much stuff in there, heat sinks and heavy stuff. I mean, it is, you can tell there's high quality components in them when they're heavy like that. This thing is also heavy because there's just a lot going on. But I'll be honest with you, this thing is not, I don't think that's even as heavy as, it might be the same weight as the S2200, which is about right because you got about 200 watts of charging. Oh, input wattage, input voltage lower than 10. So that's how you could tell. Okay. Problem is when I unplug this, I bet it would die. So is it gonna stop the charging sequence? So look.
Probably.
Look at this, watch this. Unplug this, plug this one in. Does it bring it back up? I doubt it. But that's kind of cool because then you don't have to undo everything. So let's plug this back in and put it back to work. Jeez. Oh, by the way.
Are those warm?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a little toasty. Okay, so the input voltage has been corrected. Let's see what happens. I tried clicking and it just sort of, can I get past it? Will it let me back?
What if you just unplug and then replug in those 2 new ones?
Well, that's what I'm gonna do just to see what happens. So it obviously clears the error condition and then it should come back to life. So here on Brian Phillips RC, we like to show these items in their full, true colors. As much as we can, we wanna try to be fair to the manufacturers, even if we had a plane that flies terrible or something. I don't know if you've seen a recent video. It pains us when we get stuff that doesn't work well. Because really, we love this hobby. We want to see it succeed, but we also want our, wonderful audience of viewers to not get ripped off. Yeah. So, there's a certain amount of, I'm pretty sure that these companies aren't trying to rip us off. It's just that sometimes that happens because things don't work as good as we want. I think this is a really good product. We rarely see things from Spektrum that aren't good, but sometimes there maybe is a better offering out there. We want you guys to make up your own mind. So at the end of the day, is this the solution for you? I think really it comes down to how you're powering the charger, A, and B, what type of batteries you like to use. If you use a lot of smart batteries, this is gonna be super easy. It's incredible how much easier it is to use smart batteries, incredible. You will waste so much less brain power. When we're getting ready to film, plug, there's batteries all over the place. Yeah. And we're ready to rock, like right now, okay? And there's times when we have to film on extremely short notice without much warning at all, and it's bang, bang, bang. We get stuff done quick because weather is our biggest factor, okay? And my work schedule, because I work for a living. So at the end of the day, for us, it is like this. You have this morsel of freedom in this ocean of everything else has to happen because you're a real human dude and you have a family depending on you. And you want to deliver, content to your audience and stuff like that. It's one small piece of my world. But we have slivers of opportunity that come in the week that we can fly. And that's part of the reason why we're building an aerodrome, which sounds insane, but it is totally true. And maybe you guys can relate. If you can't relate, don't worry. You don't have to stretch for it. But for me, it's all about recapturing the time that you can't afford otherwise. And so if this does it for you and it meets the budget and it does the things you want to do, then by all means, I suggest you buy one from the link in the video description below. Now, why would you do that? Because you can support Brian Phillips RC for telling the full truth, nothing but the truth, so help us God. But you can also support the companies that partner with us simultaneously, okay? Now, if you just go to the site and you buy it, great, good for you. But just so you know, they won't know that we were involved with that transaction anyway. And so obviously we won't earn any commissions on it. We earn commissions on products that suck and are awesome exactly the same. But the truth is the truth, and the truth is expensive. So for us, the truth matters more than making $1 or $2, okay? We want you guys to get exactly what you need when you need it for the reasons you need it. But we also want to perpetuate the cycle of this hobby so that people can get into it. The bigger the hobby, the bigger the reach, the more people are buying F7Fs, which is from a competitive brand, or buying that Draco, or the SR7071, or the J3 Cub, or the Super Tucano, or that T28. There's just so many amazing examples. Or buying these helicopters, quads, VTOLs, whatever it is that we happen to be reviewing here on Brian Phillips RC, because we predominantly do fixed wing, but we do a lot of helicopters and we do a lot start to finish. And when I say a lot, I mean the vast majority. The vast majority is start to finish type of content. So when you film shotgun content, shotgun style filming, which is what we do on Brian Phillips RC, you're gonna see start to finish, including mistakes, okay? We do that for a reason, okay? Because we live in the reality of 2026. And short content, highly refined, take out all the bad stuff, leave all the good stuff. It's really hard to say no to anything. But we show it all. And that's the difference between Brian Phillips RC and everybody else, okay? All right, hopefully we answered your questions. This is just a plethora of some of the things that we touch on a routine basis. This is all stuff we use, and we use it a lot, okay? If it didn't work, we wouldn't share it, or we would share that our experience was poor, okay? I think this is gonna be great for people that charge a lot of smaller batteries, like your 4S and 3S variety, because I think it's gonna keep up and it's gonna give you faster charge cycles than what you're gonna get if you're doing a lot of 6S planes. So for those of you that are needing the S2200, at my suggestion is you probably just want another S2200. Here's another drawback I see on this. The side plugs are going to be hard to reach if you set up like we've set up, which I'm sure a lot of you have a counter in your shop or in your garage or in your kitchen where you've got charging stations set up, okay? This has all the plugs from the useful accessible point, okay? If you buy this, you're spread out here now. So you have to have room on all the sides, okay? So there's a few drawbacks in this product, but I think they're gonna be limited to hyper-specific cases. Now, this is gonna work really good when you go out to the flight field and you got an empty table and you got 14 planes spread out on the ground and you just need to charge stuff right now, blam, bam, get it done, okay? But while this is charging, you're out flying. The same is true from a charger like this, okay? Here's the big difference. This is AC only, okay? That is a big drawback if you're at the flying field and you don't have AC power, because a lot of flying fields don't have AC power, or you have some solar set up, or you have a generator set up, or whatever it is. You're not gonna wanna have to hassle with that if you can do something like this. But this is gonna be slower, okay? And you'll wanna use your power wisely, because if you're using 2 3S batteries to charge 6S packs, you're not gonna get very far, okay? Remember, the efficiency from going from this pack to this pack is not 100%, even if it's really good, okay? You're gonna lose some power going through this circuit and going to the end user, okay? All right, so hopefully we answered your questions on this S450. all new from Spektrum. Here on Brian Phillips RC, we want you guys to get what's great for you and you alone. So check it out. Links in the video description below. You can support Brian Phillips RC from buying from those links. Also, if you want to find something competitive, you can check out the playlist of smart things, which is listed in the video description, or you can head over to bprc.me and you can find items sorted by type. One of those types would be, do we have batteries and stuff? Or is that supplies?
Yeah, supplies.
Okay, in supplies, there's a thing that's got a smart charger. Click on that, you'll see all the goodies, you know, like the extension cords that we were talking about earlier, chargers that we reviewed in the past, and then sometimes, I don't know if we did
I think we have a couple
transmitters. The
videos.
transmitters are Spektrum still, but they're not smart stuff, okay? Even though they are smart, because smart is a technology, like a branded technology group, this is still technically a smart charger, okay? But it's not necessarily an NX8, okay? We wanna help you sort through the plethora of options, but we also wanna give you guys a first look. So thanks for watching. Hopefully we answered your questions. Let us know in the comments below what you think of the 4 charger, the quadruple charger with 50 watts each. Tell us if you think it's big enough. I'm curious if it's big enough for the average Joe. I think it's probably okay for people that are doing a lot of 3 and 4S flying, but I also think that there's gonna be some folks that wanna do 6S, and in the rare occasion that you need to do 4 at the same time, you've got the feature built in, okay? I also see a lot of guys going out to the flying field, flying ultra micros, going nuts with something like this, and just got adapters sticking out all 4 sides of it, so you can have kids out flying and you can keep their batteries charged, because you do blow through those packs pretty quick, okay?
And you could charge a lot of batteries on that big basher battery.
You could just put one of these in there, one 3S or one 4S. And remember, just not the 3S, you could do a 3S, 4S, 5S, 6S. I mean, there's not a lot of 5Ss on the market, but there are 5Ss out there. So the input from a DC source is a big deal for a lot of people. The other thing is you can plug this in to, you know, your lead acid battery on your car or truck, okay? You just have to have a clamp on set up and then have, you know, an IC3 would be fine. It doesn't have to be an EC3. You can use, you can use an EC3 or you can use an IC3, okay? Of course, the IC3 is gonna have the data pin, but you don't necessarily need the data. It will do it, and we've proven that.
IC5, you mean? Or
IC5, IC5. I apologize, guys. IC5 or an EC5. Thank you for catching that. My apologies. All right. Hopefully we answered all your questions, guys. Other ways to support us if you don't want to buy stuff from the links at this particular juncture for whatever reason it is, you can check out being a YouTube member, one-time donations through Super Thanks, Patreon for monthly support, or PayPal, all of which are always accepted. But our encouragement to you is, if you're considering supporting us in that way, we really appreciate it, first of all. But second of all, we really would appreciate you flying airplanes, quads, VTOLs, and helicopters. Don't just live vicariously through Brian Phillips RC and the other influencers that you watch on YouTube. Get out there and do it. If you're trying to support us financially, the best way to do it, we say this over and over again, is to just buy amazing products that you like. And if it's not this, don't ever feel bad, whether it's not this or it's not that or it's not the other current thing we're doing. Sometimes it's like, hey man, that Super Tucano has been out for a long time. Is it any good? The answer is absolutely, it's awesome. Or is the J3 Cub any good from Hangar 9? Man, it's really expensive. I don't know if I can afford it. Is it really worth it? It is awesome. When I come home to fly and I've got opportunity at one flight, I will grab that thing and I will fly at one flight, and it's amazing. I usually, it's like Lay's chips. You just can't eat one. I gotta fly it again, okay? That's how good it is. It's just awesome. The airliner, is it awesome? Yes, it is. You need a long runway. The thrust reverse doesn't work. It just makes noise and looks cool, okay? We'll tell you the full truth, nothing but the truth, so help us God, on Brian Phillips RC as we help you navigate the waters of RC. All right, thanks for watching, guys. We appreciate your support. Leave it in the comments below what you think of the 450s. And we'll get back to you. Come back for more.